Hello everyone, this is Ryan with High Desert Math Tutor, and today I want to take a moment to talk to you about factoring. Now I'm going to introduce factoring by looking at the opposite of factoring, which is multiplying numbers together to get one number. So let's look at the numbers 2 times 3 equals 6. Here, 2 and 3, both of these are called factors of 6. So a factor is a number that you multiply with other factors in order to get a final single number. Now factoring is when you take one number and you break it into smaller pieces, which are called factors. So let's look at an example. So let's say factor completely. And let's say we have the number 12. So 12 can be broken into the factors 4 times 3. But notice that 4 can be broken into two smaller pieces, 2 times 2. So we can take 12 and factor it further into the numbers 2 times 2 times 3. Now you may ask yourself, how do we know when we are done factoring, when we've reached the smallest numbers we should reach? Now each of these numbers, 2, 2, and 3, these are all called prime numbers. And a prime number is a number that can only be made through multiplication by multiplying 1 by itself. For example, the number 2. The only way you can make 2 with multiplication is if you say 1 times 2. Now let's look at another example. Let's say we have the number 6. Well, 6 can be written as 1 times 6, but it can also be written as 2 times 3. So since there are two ways to write this number, the first way and the second way, we conclude that the number 6 is not prime. So when you see the instructions, factor completely, and you're looking at one single number, such as the number 12 right here, factoring completely means factor this number into smaller numbers that we can multiply together to get 12, but factor until all you have left are prime numbers. So that is the basic idea of factoring. But factoring is very useful at all different levels of math. So when you get to algebra, you'll see a slightly more complicated version of factoring. So for example, we may see something like factor completely. And we may have some expression with variables such as x squared minus 2x plus 1. Here, this is not one single number that we can just say, oh, this is just 5, or this is just 12. So things are a bit more complicated, but there are techniques for factoring numbers in this form. So I'm going to just show you quickly what this can turn into. So with factoring, remember, our goal is to break whatever we're factoring into smaller, more simple pieces that when we multiply them together, we get our original number, or in this case, expression. So what we can do is say, okay, well, let's try x minus 1 times x minus 1. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you those are the factors to this equation. But if you want me to prove it, I will go ahead and FOIL this out for you. So we're going to start by multiplying the first term, second term, third, fourth, multiplication. And what we get is x squared minus x again plus 1. So after multiplying this out, we get x squared minus 2x plus 1. And that right here, that is the original expression we had. So that is factoring.